What's up YouTube, ATL JDM here, and this week we're going to be looking at our 1993 Toyota Crown Majesta, the ultimate grandpa sleeper car. It basically looks like a giant Lexus. It basically is a giant Lexus. The Crown Majestas and Crowns in general were the luxurious higher end models offered over in Japan, and some of the features that this car has for it just being a 93 still blows my mind. It's got more features than, you know, newer Hyundais and Fords. It's absolutely just crazy. And living in Atlanta, you know that AC's got to be ice cold, and I've been riding around with this thing on the first AC setting and it's freezing cold on the inside. So we'll go over all that in just a second. First thing I like to always do is go over some cosmetic stuff. These cars are 25 years old, so there are some things that, you know, come with the car, unfortunately. Some of those things we try to fix before sale. We did just pick this one up not too long ago. This one actually had to get a new transmission put in it, so it handles like a dream now. But first, boo-boo, and I'm still getting used to using the Osmo, so if I'm like dragging or whatever here and there, I apologize. But you've got some scrapage right here on the front bumper. Very light, you could probably buff that out. Nothing too crazy. In the rear, it's also got some scuffage right here on the rear bumper. And you got to understand one thing too, a car this big in Japan, you know, driving it over there is just kind of obnoxious because the roads are so small, and parking it too is just about the same thing. Oh, there's a little grasshopper. What's up, dude? But you got a little bit of a surface rust and chipping right there in the paint. Very minimal, nothing too crazy. Can definitely be taken care of. And you got some scrapage right there. You see someone tried to touch it up in Japan. They just did a terrible job at it. But those are all easy fixes for us. And then I think you got same thing right there. Someone tried to touch all that up, which is fine, you know, it's nothing too crazy, and our paint guys can easily fix that. No problem. So some cool features on the outside. First of all, take a look at these OG Toyota Crown hubcaps, I think those are actually wheels. Huh. Super cool OG Toyota Crown wheels with the Toyota Crown emblem on them. We did actually just get new tires on the car too. So it is literally like driving on a cloud. God, it is so hot out here. Oh my God, Jesus. All right. You've got the front indicators. So when your headlights are on at night, not only do the lights both light up on both sides to give you good, you know, lane detection, but when you go to turn on your blinkers, if you don't hit your windshield wipers, that is, those will flicker also. So pretty cool. OG Crown emblem in the front. I love that emblem. It looks freaking sick. When you turn on and off the car, and I'll show you that on the inside, the mirrors can actually retract in and out. Crown emblem on both sides. And you've got the original window visors. So those are all intact. The car was definitely a garage kept car because it's got no hail damage, no dings on the car. And from what I could tell, I don't think the owner was a smoker because it has no evidence of previous smoke damage or whatever you want to call it. I'm a smoker, so the owner isn't, so he can definitely smell it if it's in the scent of the seat or in the interior. But again, you know, I went over the Shake and Report stickers in the last video. So in the 29th year, which was 2017, in December, this car was no longer eligible to drive in Japan because it had its Shake and Report had expired. I should have mentioned this in the beginning of the video. The reason why this is like the ultimate grandpa sleeper is because, you know, it looks like a grandpa car, and it's got a freaking 2JZ under the hood. It's a non-turbo, but still, you know, pretty iconic engine for such a simple looking car. Now let's go look at the inside, my favorite part. I can turn on the car and get some AC also. But you've got power locks, power windows, power side mirrors. That's the, oh hold on, wait, let me adjust that, sorry. All right, so you got power windows, power locks, window locks, and then side mirror adjusters with the retractable side mirrors also. You can turn that on and off. This thing has a freaking heads-up display, which I'll go over when I turn on the car, but the fact that it has that is pretty trippy. It's also got a digital dash, automatic transmission with the stock head unit. Very hard to find. Like I say in a lot of my videos, you know, we focus on getting the car here as stock as we can. So that's just our preference. You know, if you do want us to do stuff, we have done it before, and we can easily have this unit changed to something more up to date, because Japanese radios don't pick up over 900 FM, and that's why I have my tape, so I can show you guys that that does work also. And the speakers for this car being 25-year-old, or having 25-year-old speakers, is actually really good quality. Got the swing option on your front vent, which was just like in our Toyota Crown wagon. Pretty cool feature. It's just, you know, the little things that add up. You don't have any cup holders, which kind of irritates me a little bit, but it is what it is. Crown emblem on the steering wheel. Went over the hood. I'll turn on the dash in a second when I go to turn on the car. And one thing I want to point out too is it's got all the original seat doilies. And to show that they're original, it's got Crown emblem on them. Pretty freaking sick. The seats are in really good condition too. The foam is really good. Didn't have to change anything or get anything reupholstered. You got one secret compartment there. This has got some stuff from the port in it. Another compartment here, and secret compartment there. Gas cap. Your trunk release is actually, let me show you how big this freaking trunk is too. Hold on the door. Oh my god, I don't know how to use the Osmo. I'm struggling here. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I've got some stuff in the trunk, just some gear. Come on, are you gonna? There we go. All right. But look how big the freaking trunk is in comparison to a lot of other cars. And just to give you, you know, an idea of how big it is, that's the box for the Osmo. You got so much space for, I mean, what do you even put back here? I'm pretty sure it's got the spare and all that good stuff. Yeah. I would imagine that's like the original spare, the tire changing equipment and all that stuff. And I just kind of screwed that up, but I'll come back and fix that, because I'm going to be doing some driving in a minute anyways. And the GoPro is in that bag. Like when I found out we bought this car, all I could think about was the scene in the first Fast and Furious when, you know, old Paul Walker, rest in peace, pulls up with that Supra, that piece of shit Supra on the bed, and everyone was talking shit until they saw this freaking thing inside of it.
Hey, pop the hood.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood. 2JZ engine, no shit. And what did I tell you?
I retract my previous statement.
You know?
2JZ, I mean, look at the engine bay. It is super clean. I did not even have this car detailed before I did this video. But just look at how ridiculously clean it is. I mean, it's a great driving car. I really have enjoyed driving this the past couple of days. So is the owner, Rick. And the fact that the AC is freaking cold is just badass. You get a Bosch super horn. I don't know if that came stock or if someone put that in. I don't know. But there's some plates. I'm just gonna do one more lap around. Oh, weak shocks. Whoops. There we go. Shocks are a little weak. Just found that out. Stayed up for a second though. Just look at that. That's just the pinnacle of Japanese mechanics. Oh, I should probably let that open because I'm about to turn it on. Alright, so just to give you guys the full experience of when you turn this thing on. God, I need to freaking stop struggling with this thing. Alright. So, when you put the key in, steering wheel adjusts itself. Turns right on. No ETC in this one, unfortunately. I don't know if I showed you guys too. You got the original cover, or the original floor mats on all of them. These just have covers on them because the previous owner actually gave a shit about their car. Okay. What we're gonna do is shut this. Turn this up just a little bit. Now, let me show you guys this awesome digital dash. My Osmo can't fit through the steering wheel, but take a look at that thing. So, the seatbelt button also, like all the warning lights that come on in this car, they're not, like this is glass right here, and I'll try and get a better angle. It's kind of awkward with the Osmo, but this is actually being projected up from somewhere. So this is, you know, just one piece of solid glass, and underneath, I don't know where from, so I can get a little closer. See how that's being projected up? It's very crazy. Just looks so cool, like for a 93, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't expect something like that. Oh my god, that feels so good! Oh, that's sweet. But it's so hot that when it makes its way back to me, I'm just gonna lock it right there. The car has 105,180 kilometers, so that is about, I want to say 70,000 miles, maybe a little more. 70,000 is some change. Currently outside, it is 29 degrees Celsius. The car redlines at 6,500 RPMs, and I need some gas. Now here's the heads-up display. Like I said, it's kind of awkward with the Osmo and the steering wheel. So let me see if I can get. There we go. So you guys see it right there. Now it's got the warning light on because my seatbelt isn't on. But if I put my seatbelt on, it might go away. I'll try and zoom in just a second. Alright, so now it went away. And let's see, there we go. So, that is the heads-up display. And it actually keeps up very well with the speedometer, so you're not reading two different numbers. It's very responsive. And, yeah, it's just kind of a cool feature for a car this old to have something like that, you know? What is it? So I was going to actually show you. So I've actually got the radio on. Sound. But to show you the quality of sound that this thing has for a 93. I mean, dude, whoever was jamming out in 93 in this thing, a freaking thug in Japan. Chill, just to give y'all an idea. You know, it doesn't have a lot of bass to it, but I've sat in a ton of 25-year-old imports with their stock speakers, and oh my god, they're garbage. They're just old. It's starting to feel a little better in here. I'm trying to think of what other features this car has. You got your little cubby right here for your change. Compartment right there. See, no smoke damage or doesn't show anyone putting butts in there or anything like that. So the car's just clean all in all when it boils down to it. All right, no more Aussie. Okay. So I guess all that's left now is to show you guys under the hood. One day I will master this Osmo and it won't look all spaghetti. There. And that's that beautiful Toyota sexiness right there. Turns like a kitten. It's so quiet too when you're driving. It's absurd. All in all, just a really badass car. If you're looking for something JDM, something, you know, not too crazy, something cheap, you know, and throw a couple of turbos on this thing and you got a fucking Supra, you know. Okay, so I took the phone off of the Osmo to show you the digital dash a little closer. It's a little dusty. Oops. I'm going to show you that seatbelt light. Like I was saying, it's being projected onto the glass. You know, it's not an actual light right there. The HUD, which is right there, and that's the caution light's on because I don't have my seatbelt on. The car is on, and the HUD, you can adjust it, turn it off, move it around. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. I guess it's, yeah, see, it made it dimmer. That's super bright. Turn it off, turn it on. There's a Japanese button. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll leave that alone. And see, I can move it up and down. So if I'm short, I can put it really high. If I'm tall, I can put it really low. If I'm normal, I'll just leave it right there. I'll show you the mirrors. Do work on both sides. So that's pretty freaking badass. And there's something else I was going to show you too. Nope, I guess that's it. Alright, so just to give you the full experience again, you can also look at the key. It's got a crown on it too. But I'm going to start the car and then take it for a little spin. Steering wheel, love that. Turns right on. Buckle up. I don't think you'll be able to see the HUD from the GoPro, but I added a little video of that in the digital dash, showing it a little closer. But we'll take this thing out for a spin real fast. See how driving on a cloud feels like. The thing I like about this car is not only does it handle really well, but the steering is just, it's a really tight steering. So it's none of this, you know, shaking around and wobbling. Super smooth steering. I'm driving a boat. One thing I really do like about the whole dash too is just kind of how it's just so boxy, how everything's set up. And it's just very simple. Everything's laid out. It's, you know, nothing too crazy or complicated. It just feels right. This car sits up really high too, higher than most sedans would. But kind of feel a little extra badass, I guess, you know. And it's just such a big car. The one thing that I always tell people that's, you know, not necessarily hard, but just gets used to when driving right-hand drives, is number one is the steering column being flipped and this windshield wipers and the turn signals. I mess up that on normal cars and regular or import cars every day nonstop. So it's just like a muscle memory kind of thing, I guess. But the other thing is kind of like registering the mass of the car now that you're on this side versus driving on the left side, because driving here and learning how to drive here, you're kind of taught yourself to hug this lane or the center of the lane and all your dead weight's on the right side, and it's kind of trippy sometimes driving on this side of the road on this side of the car and knowing that all my dead weight's on the left side, and knowing that, you know, if I were to wander over, boom, I'm, you know, getting knocked out. But a lot of the K cars, it doesn't really matter because the car is way smaller than the lane. It's just these bigger cars that you just kind of have to teach yourself to hug the outer lane, or, you know, outside of the lane, not the middle. But I mean, just no complaints, like just a smooth ride. And the car is just really quiet when you're driving too. You don't really hear it. You would think, you know, you'd be able to hear a 2JZ, but it's an NA, you know. It's just, I'll turn around up here real fast and go back. Just smooth turn. I mean, someone balling in Japan was definitely driving this before it got here to us. Because remember, I mentioned that these are like the higher end, you know, you got some money cars. And that air is just a big plus. I've been driving this car for probably a week now in Atlanta. And what is today? It's the 9th or 10th of July. So it's been hot for the last week. If anyone's watching this and lives in Atlanta, you know it's been hot. And I swear on my mother's soul, I have not gone over the first setting for the AC because I haven't needed to. It's been cool enough with just that one. So I mean, that's also really good too, because a lot of these Japanese cars, you know, the AC, it's like kind of hit or miss. They either work and blow really cold, they work and blow really weak, or they just don't work at all. Here, try and get a little speed. That's 60. Almost 60, 117 kilometers. I mean, this thing can boogie if you needed to boogie. It just handles really well. It doesn't pull whatsoever. It's like, you know, like I said before we even took off, this is what riding on a cloud feels like. I do wish that it was a stick shift. It's kind of weird because 90% of the imports we get are stick, so I still am trying to look for the clutch sometimes and it just trips me out. But I guess that's going to be it for the Crown Majesta. If you're wondering how it handles on the highway, I live in Dunwoody. I live like 45 minutes away from Cumming, the shop, and trust me, I've taken it on the interstate and it handles very well on the interstate. I've gotten up to 90. You know, I'm not trying to go too wild and crazy, but I did want to, you know, cruise one night, and, you know, 80, it's really, really comfortable at 80. It's not shaking or anything crazy like that. But other than that, that's going to conclude the video for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos on all of our imports. We're going to the port tomorrow to pick up 5 beautiful, awesome, iconic JDM cars. And follow our journey on Instagram, ATL JDM. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/ATLJDM. And if there is something in our current inventory that we don't have that you want, shoot us an email and ask about our custom import plan, where we go find your car for you as long as it abides the 25-year import law. But oh, that's a sign. But I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.